over here. But I was actually going to say, very smart to leave a solo Muta here, because that Muta can chase down a medevac if MVP loads up all the Marines inside the medevac. At least you have some kind of mobile anti-air unit. Doesn't matter though, as Nestea comes in, he will clean up that drop pretty easily. But that's what I'm talking about, guys. MVP for the first time launches on offensive, and what does that offensive do? It forces Nestea to pull all his Mutas back home. And another drop is going back at the main. That's why I was wondering, you know, I'm not sure why Nestea pulled up all his Mutas, but a secondary drop, yes, you will need to pull a lot of Mutas back. And meanwhile, Nestea reveals his ace card. He's got Guardians, excuse me, not Guardians, he's got Broodlords on the field. Watching too much Brood War lately, guys, but Nestea's got Broodlords on the field. Surprise, surprise, these Broodlords came out of nowhere, and they have raided the pocket expansion along with Mutas as well. Nestea is going for what seems to be a Sky Zerg build, and it's actually worked out pretty well. He just picked off the pocket expansion of MVP, forcing MVP back home, or at least down to resources located a little bit more south. Great positioning by Nestea here, who has got a huge pack of Broodlords. Now the Vikings coming into play, as well as the Ghosts. That's a lot of Ghosts and Vikings. I don't know if Nestea wants to stick around to fight this, and here comes the Marines, so those Marines will be able to clear up the Mutas as well. But the problem here is Nestea cannot retreat. Those Broodlords are so slow. Mutas are getting torn apart, and the Marines and Ghosts are going to town. Those Broodlords, I don't think, are going to make it home. Maybe that guy, no, it will not. The range of the Ghost sniper rifle is awe-inspiring. It is so long, and it does so much damage. Nestea just threw away thousands and thousands of gas and minerals, essentially for really nothing. He really didn't kill off the main. He didn't kill off the Ghost. He didn't really do that much damage. So Nestea really throwing a lot of resources away, but you know what? Nestea has got a lot of resources to spend. He's got almost he's got 6,000. He's almost got 7,000 minerals. He just needs more gas. That's all he really needs. So he's got a lot of resources to spend. Maybe not that much gas. So what a game so far between these two juggernauts. They have cut the map in half here on Shakura's Plateau. That medevac will not go down as it rushes to the safety of the missile turret, Ghost, and Viking. But what a game we have on our hands, and I do see a Nidus Worm being constructed, but I'm not too sure where there's a Nidus Worm in construction. I see it on the production tab. Perhaps that was just the entryway. So there is a Nidus Worm up on the map. There it is, and Nestea is now going to go ahead and load up a ton of Banelings. Oh my god. How did Nestea get so many Banelings? Let's check the units tab here. 46 Banelings, and he's making the Nidus Worm all the way down to the south here. Gonna try to surprise MVP, but MVP's already there with Marines, and he forces to cancel. Actually, he kills off the Nidus Worm, as Nidus Worms cannot be canceled. So well played right there by MVP, just keeping his eyes open and his ears aware to any potential Niduses. And now he's gonna go ahead and drop into the back of the Zerg main. That spawning pool is very weak. He whiffs the fungal. Nestea whiffs the fungal, and now the Marines are gonna go ahead and come out. The Zerglings are there to greet the Marines, so will the Marines be able to focus on the spawning pool? No, they will not, as the Zerglings quickly dispatch those Marines. So this game is just gonna go into a big war of attrition here, ladies and gentlemen, as really Nestea has maxed out. He's banking 7,000, almost 8,000, and trying to save up more gas right here. MVP, of course, just trying to mine as much as he can to stay toe-to-toe with the Zerg. And anytime he can pick off a Broodlord or a Nidus Worm like that for free, that definitely works pretty well for MVP, because Nestea doesn't have nearly as much gas saved up as his opponent. I'm surprised that he hasn't claimed these Vespine Geysers. In fact, you may end up losing this hatchery here to 8 Marines. Those 8 Marines going to town right now, but the Zerglings are going to come back in time. And that medevac party will be dispatched. Now, Nestea, hopefully, yeah, there we go, finally realizes that he should get some gas going at those 2 geysers if he wants to stay in this game, and he's going to start to mine that gas. Meanwhile, MVP securing the final pocket expansion. And ladies and gentlemen, every single, wow, look at the Terran army. That is such a well-composed army. Ghosts to deal with Broodlords or Ultras or Mutas, Vikings to deal with Broodlords, Thors to deal with Mutas, Marines to deal with everything else, and Siege Tanks to clean up the ground. Well-composed army. Nestea trying to poke in here to attack the pocket. The pocket will quickly lift off. I think MVP should be able to secure this pretty easily. But ladies and gentlemen, the map is pretty much all claimed except for one final expansion to the 12 o'clock. And it may very well come down, actually the pocket expansion here has been lost as well for MVP, but it may very well come down to a massive war of attrition here. And look at Nestea, he's building a billion banelings. He has got 50 or so banelings being morphed out right now, and oh my god, he has got 112 banelings. Nestea may just be in a situation here where he doesn't really know what to do, and he's just like, well, you know what? I'm just going to make it easy on myself and make a billion banelings and crash into my opponent's army and see what happens. And he shrugs like that. We'll just have to see. I have no idea how 100 banelings is going to work against this army. I don't know who's going to come out ahead. MVP right here, actually, I love what he's done here. He's taken control of these little high ground ledges on Shakuris Plateau, and this is really, really smart because it gives him a point to attack from where he doesn't have to fear ground units. Only air units can strike that location, and these tanks and Thors really excel when they're isolated on the high ground, on their own little plateau or floating rock, if you will. And I really like what MVP has done there, just trying to utilize the map to his best advantage. Meanwhile, also trying to drop once again. There are some Mutalisks here, and Nestea not paying attention, finally picks off that last medevac, but not paying attention, and he will lose about 700 gas worth of mutas, and those mutas are going to go down. Those 3 Marines remain alive. Meanwhile, here comes Nestea. He's tired of it, he's had it, he's done with these tribes. He's gonna go in through the ground, he's gonna try to crash all these banelings in, or perhaps not, he's just gonna try to flex, I guess. He's just trying to flex against the Terran army. He says, you know what, I got lots of muscles, what do you got? And he's just gonna back off. So that was kind of interesting. Almost actually ended up killing off the command center, but the command center will be repaired. Meanwhile, chain fungal going down on the Vikings, very nice here. That will, you know, limit the anti-air that there is for MVP. And MVP here with a couple of Marines that survived from that drop against the mutas will pick off an extractor that has already mined off most of his gases. So that extractor death not really going to cost Nestea at all. And in fact, Nestea not even bothering to dispatch anything to deal with these 3 Marines, which are pretty weak. That's a little surprising to me. I guess he's too focused right now on his macro, and who can really blame him? He's on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bases. Likewise, MVP on, whoa, a lot of orbital commands, 1, 2, 3, 4, planetary fortresses, 5, 6, I don't know, it's going almost up to infinity at this point. MVP is actually building command centers to morph into planetary fortresses in the center of the map. How smart is that? On a map this narrow, where, you know, all your units are forced to funnel in, those 2 planetary fortresses could prove absolutely key in the victory of the Terran player here. And this match is now 30 minutes long, and I have no idea. I have no idea who's going to win this game. Likewise, Nestea also throwing down spine crawlers, kind of like a, you know, hey, if you're going to tip the scales with planetary fortresses in the middle, then I'm going to try to tip the scales back in my favor with spine crawlers. So a very, very interesting game here. Ultra Baneling Infestor is the composition for Nestea. Meanwhile, it looks like a drop has found its way to, oh, there's a full medevac actually going down next to the main, but a drop has found its way to the back of the 6 o'clock. But there's so many things going on the map right now that these 2 players can't be bothered to even control their individual units. They've got so many bases to manage, so that's quite incredible to watch right now. A fungal growth hits the 2 medevacs, but they will make their way back, and a well-placed group of spine crawlers there should be able to defend against any more Marine aggression. Another medevac coming in here for MVP as he continues to dominate the skies, since there really are no more Mutalisks on the map anymore. Although it looks like Nestea should be prepared for this medevac drop. I'm not too sure how much damage it's going to do. And meanwhile, there is a nuclear missile being made as well from MVP, and we have seen this in the ultra late game, nuclear missiles being used. Oh, the spawning pool goes down. MVP picks off the spawning pool right before his Marines went down to those banelings. That was very, very nice. And now the Zerg player will have to rebuild the spawning pool if he wants to make any more Zerglings and banelings. And meanwhile, it looks like some Marines coming around the backside. Down to the bottom right-hand corner, Nestea is split apart. He has no idea where to defend at this point, and he brings some Infestors back. He gets a chain fungal off, but not before the hatchery goes down. That was very well played by MVP to execute the double-pronged medevac drop. He picked off a spawning pool, he picked off a hatchery down in the bottom right-hand corner. Well played by MVP. Now, oh my god, look at how many larva Nestea's got saved up. There's so many larva on the hatcheries, in fact, that when new larvae come out, the old larvae actually die because the hatchery has a maximum amount of larvae it can contain. So at any point, Nestea here can remax a massive army if he were to trade. He's got 15k, 6k. There is a nuclear missile about to fall here. Nestea not paying attention. Oh my god, he just lost a bunch of drones. I don't know what Nestea was doing, but he is falling behind in this game because he continues to take damage from all points, and it looks like he's tired of it. He's just going to unload his entire Baneling load into the Terran main, along with the Ultralisks. Perhaps not going to unload everything, as some Overlords are still full up. I'm not too sure what Nestea's trying to do here. Meanwhile, it looks like some Marines are going to clean up the drones here in the bottom right-hand corner. So Nestea is taking economic damage, and meanwhile, he's got to do some damage to return the favor. But these ghosts, are so many ghosts just sniping the Overlords down. And as the units come out from the Overseers, the Siege Tanks just obliterate them. Nestea is in a ton of trouble here, and the Marines have worked their way over from the bottom right-hand corner over to this hatchery on the right-hand side. Nestea is in so much trouble right now. He just blew his entire load inside of MVP's main, and really, he didn't kill that much. All these ghosts just obliterated the Overlord load, and all the Ultralisks and everything really just went down the pipe. And at the same time, Nestea has lost so much of his bases. Now, granted, Nestea has got a ton of money. He's got 12,000 minerals and almost 7,000 gas. Okay, so he saved up a ton of gas. He can rebuild so quickly. And remember, guys, I was talking about all that larva. That larva has been put to pretty good use. Nestea is remaxed. Oh, well, maybe not remaxed yet. He is actually supply blocked right now, so he can't remax yet, but he could remax as soon as he clears that supply block. Meanwhile, I don't know what these two medevacs are doing. They're doing a little ring around the rosy over there, and this medevac over here is all by itself trying to do whatever damage it can. So Nestea isn't out of the game yet, guys. He did take a huge loss essentially for nothing, but at least he did something rather than just sit around and let the Terran player just get into super beast mode. And it looks like he will clean up this medevac here. Yes, he will. And these two medevacs over here that were doing ring around the rosy, they went down as well. MVP is now back into constructing more nuclear missiles. In fact, he has got a huge ghost hit squadron. Call this Ghost Squad Delta, man. He's got so many ghosts. How many does he have? 18 ghosts? Alright, he's got 18 ghosts, guys, and Nestea is now into full-on Broodlord production as he's got so much minerals and so much gas, he can afford it. He's just making mass Corruptors and Broodlords right now. It looks like we may have another nuclear launch here at this hatchery once again. That hatchery just suffered one major nuclear strike. Meanwhile, a massive Doom Drop gets basically rejected, and here comes a nuclear bomb, more drones getting hit. And MVP taking another victory here in the drone loss department as he continues to rack up the kills. 75 worker kills compared to 31. This drop over here was pretty much just shut down. It got packed. Nestea was trying to shoot for the hoop and it got packed. And here comes another nuclear bomb. The Queen goes down as well. MVP is about to kill off this hatchery just with the Ghost normal attack round. The hatchery is at 32. I guess Nestea was able to save up at the very last second, but really, that save, I don't know if that's worth it or not because he lost his hatchery down here as well. So, Nestea is just losing too many hatcheries this game to stay on point with MVP despite him having so many banked resources. And look at MVP, man. He's got so many ghosts and so many Vikings. He knows that Broodlord tech switch is on the way. He knows it's coming, and he is preparing himself for the Broodlords. I don't know if he's ready for this many Broodlords, so wow. I almost swallowed myself right there whole when I saw this many Broodlords. I don't think I've ever seen this many Broodlords in a game before. That is pretty incredible. Meanwhile, another drop going down at the back of this bottom right-hand corner expansion. Tons of nuclear strikes going down right here, although none of them actually going for the Broodlords. They're just going for hatcheries right now. But that does scare Nestea nevertheless. He's trying to maneuver those Broodlords in case a nuke is coming down. Ends up losing an Overseer and a hatchery. That ghost will get spotted, and this hatchery down here did go down to that final nuclear blast as well. And at this point, Nestea doesn't seem to be concerned about saving his hatcheries anymore. I mean, he's already pretty much mined out everything, and he's got this huge Broodlord squad. I think he's just gonna ram this Broodlord army into this army. This could be pretty incredible, guys. Strap yourselves in. I don't know how this is gonna go down. Nestea is moving in with all his Brood Lords, but he doesn't have that much anti-air. He's got to bring his Infestors over to help deal with these Vikings. The Vikings are going to work right now. There's nothing to deal with the Vikings at all. And here comes that Ghost Squad. All the Ghosts are cloaked up. They have so much energy. And it's Sniper Hell. Sniper Squad's going to work, and the EMP hits the Infestors as well. There's not enough energy for a fungal growth. And now these Brood Lords are getting worked down by the Ghosts and Vikings. And all those Ghosts are going to get promoted. I don't know what the next level is, but they just killed off, I don't know, about 25 Brood Lords, and not a single one going down. And Nestea calls GG, a drop going on in his main. He has nothing else to do, and that was it. That was it. Nestea just blew another huge load. It was like the secondary load on MVP, but it just wasn't enough. What a game. That was one of the most spectacular Terran versus Zerg games I've seen in a while, between two of the best Terran and Zerg players in the world. I hope you guys enjoyed that broadcast as much as I did. What a great game. What a phenomenal game. And if you guys did, make sure to check me out and subscribe. I am HD Starcraft on YouTube. I'm going to have more content coming out for you guys in the very, very near future. Make sure you guys stay tuned. And this is HD signing out.